Good morning, students. In the last class, we studied about income and other criterias. We studied that besides average income, there are other equally important attributes too for comparison. Now, students, before starting with today's class, I would like to inform you all that you need not worry about the notes, because it is not compulsory that with every video you will also get the notes. So whatever you are getting, please write it down in your notebooks. And if you have problem in any of your assignment questions, please do not worry, because once we complete this chapter, then I will be discussing all the questions that I have been giving you all for your assignments, plus the questions that is given at the end of this chapter in your NCERT textbook. Also, I will give you all few extra questions. So now we can start with today's class. So the topic that we will be studying today is public facilities. In the last class, I told you all about this statement, that is, money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. And we studied this with the help of the example of different states. We studied about Haryana, Kerala and Bihar. We studied that on an average, a person is earning more in Haryana as compared to Kerala. But still, we cannot consider Haryana as more developed than Kerala, because the different facilities are not adequate in Haryana. Let us just understand what does this statement mean. Now students, this statement means that income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that citizens are able to use. Now you may think that this meaning is not correct, as income can help you buy a lot of material goods, because if we have income, we can buy as many things as we want. But students, you must understand that money can only help you to buy that goods and services unless the whole of your community gets it. For example, let's take the example of this lockdown only. This situation that all of us are facing. Now, even though you have money, we have money, you cannot buy a good if it is not being sold in your locality, the whole community, or if it is not provided to the entire community, unless you are not scared of this virus and you manage to move out of your home and go to some other place to buy these goods. So you have money, but still you cannot buy the goods and services. Why? Because it is not being provided to your entire community. Also, let us consider the example that is given in your textbook. Your money the money that you have cannot buy you a pollution-free environment unless you can afford to shift to a community that already has this thing. Students, even though I have money, but then that money cannot give me a pollution-free environment until and my entire community works for it, or until and I manage to shift to some other community. Another example from your textbook that is very apt and very much relatable to the current situation that we are facing. It says that money may also not be able to protect you from infectious disease unless the whole of your community takes preventive steps. Now this statement is given on page number 11, left hand side, last line, that money cannot cannot protect you from any infectious disease unless the whole of your community takes preventive steps. So even if you have money, you will be only protected when the entire community is working. You will be only protected from an infectious disease when the entire community is working for it. So students, just a small message with this, that stay safe and stay home. So this is what the statement means, that money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. If you have money, that doesn't mean you will be happy, non-materialistic good. Also, at the same time, if you have money, that doesn't mean you'll be able to buy everything. Why? Until and it is not provided to your community, you won't be able to do it. Let us take another example, students. Today you are able to study because many other children in your community also want to study. And because many people believe that the government should open schools and provide educational facilities so that all children have a chance to study. That means no matter how much money you have, you cannot afford to have your own personal school in which you will be the only student who will be studying, unless your entire community wants a school or the government is ready to provide it to everyone. And of course, the government cannot make one school for every child or just for 2 to 3 children who want to study. So the cheapest way to provide these goods and services is to provide them collectively. So number one, the entire community must want it. And number two, how the government will provide it, the government will provide it to the entire community collectively. Even today, many children are not able to get proper education. Why? Because of unavailability of school facilities. So these are the public facilities this can be referred as a public facility that is not available in those communities or in those societies where students are not able to go to school. So what are public facilities? These are the services provided by the government to the citizens. There are many facilities which need to be provided to everyone. So the best method to provide it to everybody is to provide it collectively. We know that in Kerala, infant mortality rate is very low. Why? Because the public health facility there is good. Also, we know about the literacy rate of Kerala, that it is very, very good there. It's around 96 to 97%. Why? Because the educational facility is good. So students, Kerala has good healthcare facility, it has good educational facility, and so Kerala has low infant mortality rate. Also, the literacy rate is very good. Similarly, in some states, the PDS system functions well. So, in those states, PDS functions well. That means public distribution system functions well. So, that means that in such state, health and nutritional status of people will be very good. So, students, now that we know what are public facilities, let us study significance of public facilities. So the first one is welfare motive. We know that public facilities refers to those services that are provided by the government to the citizens. So the government takes up production activities not for making profit but to generate welfare. Thus, objective is social good. We know that the main objective why the government is providing these public facilities to the citizen is welfare and not profit. Or we can say the main motive is social good. So this is the first significance of public facilities. Moving to the next one, essential goods at affordable price. The facilities that the government provides us, those services or those facilities are provided at affordable price. The government makes sure that the basic necessities that is required by the people like food grain, water supply, these are available to all for a decent living standard at affordable price. For example, we have PDS, public distribution system. So through that system, the government is providing food to the people at affordable price. Number 3, the government assists different sectors. Students, we also know that every now and then you must have heard about different schemes and different policies through which the government helps the small farmers or the small industrialists by giving them cheap credit or by helping them in arranging the different inputs that they require for their work. So this is the third significance, that the government assists different sectors. Number 4, the government provides certain collective benefits that cannot be achieved by individual alone. Now this we have already discussed, that students, there are some collective needs, some needs that are required by everybody, and that will be provided by the government only. For example, police stations. So we cannot afford to have our own personal police station. Law and order is something that is required by everybody. This is a collective need, and these collective needs are provided to everybody by the government. Certain collective benefits that cannot be achieved by individual alone. And the last one, it encourages human capital formation. So students, by providing us with good educational facilities, healthcare facilities, the government is encouraging human capital formation. So this is the last significance of public facilities. This picture is from your NCERT textbook, and this is your assignment for today. Go through this table carefully and then fill in the blanks. So students, today we studied about public facilities. We discussed that income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that citizens are able to use. Then we studied the definition and significance of public facilities. Also, we studied that the best way to provide these public facilities to the citizen is to provide them collectively. So that's all for today's class. Thank you, students.